Hi, everyone.
Hey,
I'm Alicia,
and I'm Meredith.
and this is It's About the Pasta, a Vanderpump Rules podcast, where it's season 4. It's reunion number 1 because we finally
Amazing.
finished the season. It was kind of a boring reunion. We didn't get a lot.
Okay, can I say one thing though? Because we kind of said this on last episode, the
What?
reunion, that like we took a long time to watch this season. I really enjoyed the preview of the season.
Oh, I forgot everything.
Because I was like, wait, that happened this season?
Weren't we debating like if Scheana's decade party was this season or last
Yes,
season? I think I died on it was last season.
And I kept thinking that James admitting to cheating on Kristen happened last season. Nope, it was this season. Because I was like, Kristen, he told us in the interview. And then I was sitting here like, you hadn't seen that yet. Never mind.
You know what? We watched this literally 6 months ago. Like, there was no way I was remembering any of this shit.
Yes.
We watched it over 6 months ago, watched a different season of Vanderpump Rules, and then came back to this.
Yeah, the live season.
These live seasons suck.
I will plan a better. I really thought Vanderpump was dead.
It's never gonna die. Plan for 20 seasons. Okay, but check us out on the A&M podcast network. We have this podcast, we have Summer is Fun, a summer house podcast, and we have One Season Wonders. Please be sure to rate, review, subscribe, join our Facebook group. It's the same name as the podcast. Follow us on Instagram at Vanderpasta, and join our Patreon, patreon.com/Vanderpasta. Let me tell you what you can get. So for $1 a month, you get access to our pre-shows that Meredith and I do before every episode, just because we can't shut up.
Because we're legit friends who talk.
We can't shut up. Every time we do one of these shows and it's like an hour and a half, we're like, we can't shut up. We just don't shut up.
All right, it is. I always go into it. I'm like, listen, we're gonna do a pre-show that's 10 minutes, and then we sit there
40 minutes later.
And honestly, we have done a pre-show. I think that was a full hour once because we could not stop talking.
We can't shut up.
So, every topic leads into another.
if you just need to fill your day with people talking in the background, $1 a month, you'll get hours of us just talking about nothing.
But everything at the same time.
Yeah.
You really get our personality there. And that tells you a lot because I feel like our personality comes through on these episodes.
Yeah, but it's
the raw essence.
You know how we're always like, people should watch the show before they come on it, like Brittany. Yeah. Anyone who wants to date us, please pay $1 to listen to all the pre-shows.
No,
that's what you're gonna get.
Please,
but that's the reality. That's the reality. Is that all you get for $1 a month? Oh no!
Excuse me. That's all you get.
You also get.
I just said that was the essence of my soul, and you're like, that's it.
We also give you access to any episodes we record early. So that includes this one.
As we said, we've been doing this this season for 9 months. You could have had not this episode 9 months ago, but
you could have had like episode 6 9 months ago. So how does that make you feel? Okay, for $2 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, you get access to the after shows that we do, so we can talk about Bravo News or any spoilers, because we do these shows spoiler free. And also, I will say your name on the podcast. So thank you to Kristen, Dustin, Jackie, Casey, Kimberly, Cameron, Tiffany, Tracy, Gina, Jennifer, Kelsey, Mariah, and Sarah. Woo woo!
Snaps off.
And then for $5 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, for live shows, which we got all these live shows coming, you get to give us your opinions and we'll read them on the podcast and comment on them. So that means Winter House season 2. That means Summer House season 7 that I assume we're going to film eventually. I don't know. It hasn't been confirmed. And then that also includes Vanderpump Rules season 10. Which I don't know when the fuck that'll come out either, and I don't care. And
could be the last one, so that would be the time.
You know what? You know what Bravo is gonna do? They're gonna put Summer House and Vanderpump on the same airing schedule again.
What would you do if they put them on the same night?
Kill myself.
That
was dramatic.
They would never, because they're like kind of two anchor shows in my opinion.
Yeah, although they do have Beverly Hills and Dubai on the same night, right? But there's just so many housewives. You got to overlap at some point.
Yeah. Interesting. I didn't know that.
Like the 2 richest ones are like same night. I only know because someone wrote a tweet and was like, Bravo really said on Wednesdays, we're going to be poor. I was like, oh yeah, got us.
Oh my God.
And then we also pick a patron of the episode. So this week's patron of the episode is Casey.
Woohoo!
Casey's new, and we appreciate new to the $5 tier. We appreciate her joining. And Casey, if you stick around, all these live shows, they're coming. They're coming. Okay.
That's true.
Winter House should be coming soon because they already filmed it. Summer House,
I think it's going to be in the fall again. It's going to be in the fall. Who wants to watch winter in the summer is what I decided.
I don't know.
No one.
But then they're going to film Summer House, I'm assuming, starting after July.
Yep. July 4th weekend every year.
They're also filming Summer House or Vanderpump Rules. What shows do we fucking do? They're filming Vanderpump Rules this summer. So
we stole too much of our essence from the pre-show. I'm just going to start telling everyone about all my essence I give to the world.
Of it. It's all there. Okay, should we get into the reunion?
Yes, I'm actually really excited about this. I just enjoy a recap and like people finally getting to respond to things that were said during the season. I feel like it's always great energy.
Okay, we get ready for the reunion. It's Lisa, Katie, Schwartz, Kristen, Jax, James, Lala, Ariana, James, and Scheana. Or I said James twice, sorry. But that's
only one James, don't worry. Doesn't have
only one James. But he's so good. I got to give him two shout outs. Those are the people that are here. So it starts with Andy talking about how famous people love Vanderpump Rules, including Chrissy Teigen and I guess John Legend.
Oh, I kind of forgot that they were like so obsessed with the show at this time.
Because they want it to end. We all do.
Well, I think Chrissy's a big housewife stan. Or just
she
like
loves
Bravo.
She's Bravo.
And so at this time, like Chrissy would post about it on social media.
She hated Jax.
I remember they even went to the like Critics' Choice Awards or something.
Yeah.
And like I'm pretty sure Chrissy Teigen and John Legend sat at the Vanderpump table.
Yeah.
It was like the height of this show in pop culture.
I didn't know he did a cover of the song. You know that
I love
it's our time. I hate it. Okay. This is not Jax's first reunion, but first time for this nose. Scheana's boobs are out. I thought Scheana looked great.
Me too.
I thought Katie looked awful. Katie's dress, her hair, nothing did it.
No matter the season, I'm now picking up on. We didn't know each other when this season came out, but you don't like Katie's style.
I know. It's just like it's not for me. There are times that I'm like this isn't a spoiler, but in current time, I think she's a great haircut. Yes. I think her hair looks fucking fantastic.
I think her show wardrobe isn't amazing. I think she tries to hit things and that's what bothers you.
Show wardrobe's not great.
Yeah.
Sometimes her hair though hits, but this time it was like half up, half down, super long and a side bang. And I was like, I don't know what is happening.
I didn't like that. I think on her Instagram, she has better outfits.
Oh, she looks great now. Schwartz looks really good. They still haven't had sex though, so
one can hope.
My God. Lala is sober
today.
I
don't think she as in alcohol.
I think here, didn't she mention she was sober?
Well, she said that it's not like Shay said I'm 3 months sober. She didn't say anything like that. She just said she's last event her preparation was to get hammered. So for this event
she didn't drink. Sorry. Yeah. That's what I should have. She is sober at this event.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
I think Shay said he's a few months sober. I don't think
no. I meant she is sober because her mom made her.
She's not 14 mimosas and 3 vodka shots.
No, she's fine.
She was at our finale.
So Ariana's here. It's the hair's a no for me, dog. Again, the hair is not doing it for me. I like her dress. I hate the choker. I gotta always give my opinions. I thought Kristen looked good though. Shout out.
I think her sitting there without making faces, she looks good.
Ariana?
Oh, sorry. I don't know why I was thinking Kristen. I was
talking about Kristen.
Okay. Yeah. Kristen.
I thought Kristen looked great, but without faces, you're right. And she's not taking a big
She gets a little erratic during this episode. So then visually she starts going downhill.
The hair starts flowing, but in her hello, she looks great.
Yeah.
James, he got suspended from Pump because he got drunk again. He's the problem.
I'm just like, oh, I really had hope for him before the finale. And then when he was so fucked up on weed, I was like,
on weed.
I was like, geez, we're done.
But it's a new year. It's 2016. This could be James's year. Will it? I'm going to go with no. Just seeing him self-destruct, it's a no for me.
Talk about someone who needs to be sober.
Honestly. And then they talk about how James and Jax hate each other, but James says he doesn't hate Jax, but Jax hates James because he hates his mouth and he just really wants to crush James's skull. He does that. He's like they're talking about like, oh, you really hate James, and he's like, oh, I want to punch him so bad right now. And I was like, he's got to calm down. This man needs to go to therapy.
It's so weird because this group definitely fights, but the James versus Jack, or more like Jax to James.
James just annoys. James is just annoying, right?
But
he's like, I'm just gonna annoy him.
On another level for Jax. Like Jax does not get this bothered by anyone.
I think though it's like certain things bother him, right? Like Sandoval was like, oh, me and my band, and Jax is like, shut up about the band.
Yeah. You know what I think it is that like James doesn't have any respect for Jax.
No.
Who Jax thinks so highly of himself.
Why would you?
I don't have any respect for Jax, but I think other people, because they've been friends for him long enough or just have put up with stuff, like kind of give him a level of respect that Jax wants back.
Yeah.
And Jax obviously sees himself as number one guy in the group. James does not see him like that.
We got to be careful what we say about Jax, because if he listens, he's going to crush our skulls.
That would be my highest honor in life. Bring Nicolas Cage with him. Let's just have them both.
Nicolas Cage, crush the skulls. So we talked about meeting Jax's mom and how sweet she was and how she's a great sense of humor about how much her son sucks. And we talk about how Jax has stolen from Sir, and he's like, I'm not the only one. And everyone's like, yes, you are. Please.
To that level, I believe, I bet some people have stolen some salt shakers or drank behind the bar, stolen like a drink.
But Jax stolen alcohol or food, probably.
Steals bottles of vodka and the silverware. I don't think people want the silverware like he does.
No, I'm not dropping. Like, you know that joke where it's like a cute little dish comes to the table and you're like, ooh, you're coming home with me. Fine. Jax, though, is an employee of that place, and he's gonna get caught with it. Like, I never have to go to Sir.
Well, Jax is like, oh, are you done with that fork? I'm gonna go put it in my car.
Yeah, and then cameras come into his house, and he goes, this is a Sir pepper shaker. Like, my guy.
It's to another level.
But I guess Jax has always been a really good employee to Lisa, which that's hard to believe because he's always in jail. So
that, and remember when somebody asked for a drink and Jax said no because it was too hard to make? We don't get to see that. I believe that Lisa has probably seen a different side to Jax.
I'm sure that's the side we see. Also the side that, remember girls arguing at the bar, yelling at him, Laura Lee.
Oh God.
Like if Jax just kept in his pants, it wouldn't be a problem.
I wonder if things changed when the show started. Like, I wonder if he was so different before the show. Like he was probably tamer version of his now self.
Yeah. Cause I mean, he was Stassi got him the job there.
True. But does he play it up for the cameras,
Probably.
And does the ego of the show get to him even more? Like, would he really say I'm the number one guy in the group if there wasn't a camera there and like a whole group following him?
No, he's number one guy. I can't tell.
I guess before it was just uncontested.
Okay, so we talk about the decades party, which this was when I was like, this was this season. It was Scheana's birthday party. Kristen showed up even though she wasn't invited, and she was not bothered.
Oh, I feel like the main string of the season is Kristen showing up when she shouldn't.
Yeah, so Kristen just always shows up. James was also drunk at that party, so it was a mess because they were dating and they're just like the messy couple.
Oh, when he chugged the fireball.
What? Everyone's like, stop, and he goes, what?
I love that Sandoval said he thought it was hilarious watching it back.
Honestly, that was so funny. But then if we remember, this was when he went home with Scheana's friend Jenna and the Uber, and Kristen found out, and he told Kristen they weren't boning, but in his interview he said Jenna and I were totally boning. And so
now it makes sense why he was so honest and like vulgar and aggressive in his interviews. Like they'd clearly broken up by the time he
did the interviews.
Yeah.
But how Kristen found out was that James left his laptop on her bed and his email was up, and she searched Uber and nothing came up, but then she did all emails or whatever.
All mail, and that brings your trash, the junk, all of it.
And then she searched for Uber and she found the receipt that he had deleted. And everyone's like, Kristen is the FBI.
I mean, amazing. I feel like most people would not think about the all mail. But she's good. I have to give her a little credit. Like,
she's good. I'm never lying to Kristen.
If so, I'm going to permanently delete that email.
Yeah, you empty your trash. Yeah. Get it the fuck out of there. Okay, but James doesn't regret his behavior. He's working to better himself though, which Kristen goes, no, you're not. Which I guess, like, who can better themselves first, Jax or James?
Well, I don't like that Kristen feels the need to constantly chime in.
She does it.
You don't know if he's betting. You don't know if he's bettering himself. You are not in a relationship with him. Like, to be honest, he really could be. I don't think he is, but that's not like your call to say.
He could be. We'll see. I think that's the thing, is it's like, it's so, because Kristen always does that, right? It's like someone says something and then Kristen has to, like she did with Tom Sandoval and Ariana. Yeah. She's just like, just shut up for 5 seconds. Anyway, okay. Remember when Kristen and James broke up in the back of Sir? I don't.
Such an iconic place though. I love that Andy is like, oh, back to the back of Sir. What a place where all the action happens.
Yeah. But James had also accused Kristen of cheating on him, and he knows that she did. And then Tom says he's still finding out people Kristen has slept with. Like today.
God. He's like, get ready. Like, you're going to start getting the waterfall of people.
That's hilarious. But then she says if she cheated on James, she would shout it from the mountains, which that I believe. But I think cheating on Sandoval,
I don't think she would be saying every moment she did. I think she would say she cheated on him, but I don't think she would say every person.
Every moment. Yeah. Yeah. Well, then James gets accused for applying to Sir to get a job on the show. So Kristen tries to answer and be like, yeah, he did. But Lisa stops her in her tracks and then says, no, James's mom asked me for a job. I think, yes, you get to Sir through somebody, right?
Yes.
James, though, sure, he was dating Kristen, so maybe that's kind of what helped him get on the show. But I think James is enough of a shit show where the producers would have been like, put a mic on this guy.
He's the one. Yep, I agree. And the thing is, like, once a show starts, everybody has a underlying, at least, like, oh, I could be on a show and I could be an influencer. Even nowadays, like, people say that about The Bachelor. It's like, yeah, everybody actually on there knows they're going to be famous afterwards. Come on. Like, let's all just admit that is the base level of things. But I don't think it's as calculated as they're making it out to be.
No, I think he got the job. And I'm sure he was just producing gold, because I think most people at Sir get a mic put on them, right? Like, we had that one random host that James hooked up with. What was her name? Lauren or Laura or something. We gave her a mic for a little bit. Peter always gets a mic and he's not doing anything. Christina Kelly gets a mic. Danny Shay. They all got mics. But we're going to really follow who's bringing the drama. And James is bringing the drama.
I think James got the job, infiltrated the friend group in a like calculated way.
Yeah.
Like, knew that obviously the closer you are to these people, the more likely chance you have to get on a show. And James said it, like, I became friends with Tom first. Like, I almost moved in with him.
Yeah.
It was not you. If anybody was being played for the show, honestly, at first it was Tom Sandoval.
Yeah. But Kristen then, which we have heard this, right? So Tom and James are friends. Kristen and Tom are over. And then Kristen is like, who can I get back at?
Mm-hmm.
They were like,
we talked about it last reunion.
To get back at Tom. Yeah. And Kristen used James too. Okay.
Yep.
Like, 100%. We all got it.
They both used each other. That's the thing. That's
fine.
And I don't think it was like James sitting there with like a plan in his garage, like thinking through this with like strings and pictures.
James is not that smart.
No, I think he saw He saw an opportunity. He tried to infiltrate the group and he ended up dating Kristen, and the overall thing just happened.
Totally agree. Okay, so I don't even know if I care about anything else. Can we talk about Lala coming to Sir?
Let's just move on.
Okay, so Lala's at Sir. She's never had a real job before, and she also got on the show because of Danny Shay, right? So what happened was Lala moved to LA. She moved into Stassi's old room, and then her roommate moved out, which made Danny Shay move in, and Danny and Lala were already friends, and Danny was like, hey, here's a job at Sir, you should apply. Which, like, I don't think Lala did anything bad to get on the show either. I think the producers
that one's even more natural. I think
she showed up.
Lala's a personality.
Was mad. Everyone was mad, so the producers were obviously like, let's capitalize on that.
Here's the thing, I bet producers show up to that. They have probably call a staff meeting and they probably talk to every single person, and it's like, you know how like we've heard like Laguna Beach started because like they interviewed every single person or like a bunch of people at the school, and like people kept talking about the Kristen, Lauren and Steven drama. I bet like something like that happened. Like, what is going on? Who's doing what? And they've heard maybe Lala's name a few times.
Yeah, I agree. I think it worked out really well. Also, question, do we think Mike Shay and Danny Shay are related?
Absolutely not. No. Okay. That's kind of like, I feel like Shay's kind of like a Smith last name. It's not unique enough to be a million people.
Ugh, okay. I just want them to be cousins. But so then we relive that Katie is from Utah, which I think we knew, and then Lala is also from Utah, but they definitely don't like each other. They don't share that Utah love that all the Mormons out there are preaching. I'm just kidding. I don't. Okay,
the way this was like, Lala's he Mormon. Just said that, I was like, okay, just because they're from the same state does not mean they're gonna immediately be besties.
Oh, I don't know about you, but if someone tells me they're from Illinois, I go nuts. I'm just kidding. But okay, so let's talk about Lala shooting in Italy. And if we all want to relive this, it's when Lala said, hey guys, I have a photo shoot in Italy.
Yeah, like I'm modeling it and they're sending me to Italy.
Yeah, and then so Sandoval and Schwartz said they were immediately suspicious.
Yeah.
Because that just doesn't happen to anyone. You have to be like,
they're the actors of the group. They would know.
Tom Schwartz is so good at acting. He has been flown to probably, I don't know, New York once.
He probably got an Uber expensed out to Santa Monica.
Probably. But yeah, Lala did lie. She was just going to hang out with some older guys and their friends, whatever. But everyone was really offended that she lied to Lisa, and Lala was like, it's not a big deal, which is kind of how I feel, because like, lie to your boss, who cares? Like, I get it. I get like Lisa's not just a normal boss, but
at some point, like, why are you random person dying on this hill when you're not involved in the situation? Yeah, point out the lie to Lisa, but then like move on. It's not your problem to deal with.
Yeah. So Lala says she gets flown to exotic places all the time, but she doesn't sleep with any of the people that fly her there.
Do you believe that?
She says she would let you know if she was sleeping with them.
I think she would let us know. I feel like she's pretty honest, but to never have slept with one of these guys and to be the only one, it's hard for me to believe. Not that I think she's a liar. It's just hard to.
She didn't say she was the only one. She just said she doesn't. Some people do.
Yeah.
She doesn't. Which, like, fine. But I have heard
I kind of need to see the guys,
People pay just to have someone hot on their arm.
Oh, 100%. I met someone in Nashville when I was supposed to go to a concert, but it got canceled, who literally got flown in from, did I say I was in Nashville? The person got flown in from Atlanta just to go and be like companionship with this wealthy guy.
Yeah, like it does happen.
And I'm just like, where are these people that I don't have to sleep with and I can go to Italy?
I don't know.
Personally, I'm like, where's the hinge for that?
She says she hasn't banged him, right? But she could still be giving them blowjobs or
Good
hand
point.
jobs or making out with them.
Good point. Come on, there is a price of admission to everything.
There might be. I think
never mind.
Still...
I don't want to do this anymore.
Okay. I was just gonna say, like,
no. I'm just in my mind, I was like, oh, I could do this. And now you're like saying there's other things, and you're right. Like, there totally is other things.
I think, like, could you, like, I think Lala is hot enough, young enough in this moment, you know, to catch the eye of someone older and be like, I'm gonna pay you to come with me, no implications. Like, I think that's possible. Do I think there could be other things she's doing? Yeah. Do I think there's at least a cute makeout? Probably, but
true. Especially with some nice Italian wine. I'm
gonna take Lala with her word.
Okay.
So then we talk about Jax and Lala, how they have like a fun flirtation thing. They both just, like, you know, someone new. They're gonna see what they can do. They're gonna flirt. They're gonna, you know, figure it out.
I think that is what it is for Jax.
I do too. So, but Jax did forget about his girlfriend, Brittany, to which he says, I wouldn't say I forgot. I just misplaced it.
He was like, I put her on the back burner a little bit.
And everyone's like, what the fuck? We all saw it.
I don't think he ever forgot about Brittany.
No,
I think he just couldn't care less.
No, because Lala straight up was like, don't you have a girlfriend? And he goes, easy with that word there.
He's like, are we dating? Like, yes, but I say we're like exclusive boyfriend girlfriends. Wouldn't really say that.
And then he like minimizes it, and Lisa is like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, stop denying it. And he's like, I'm not denying it. I'm just saying it's like not a big deal.
Oh,
you guys are making this like a really big deal.
This is what he did with his arrest.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like not a big deal. He said it's not even my fault. But Lala thought Jax was single because that's what Jax told her.
Yeah. Yep.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
So then we talk about Sir not being very welcoming to Lala.
Mm-hmm.
Katie, you know, knows that it's hard to join this group. She says, penetrate the friend group, to which then we don't finish the conversation because everyone has heard penetrate and we all have to laugh.
Yeah. Yep.
Lala says she felt intimidated. Katie, though, gets mad because Lala said Katie was bullying her, and Lala puts up a whole, like, I never said that.
Well, I think Lisa said to Katie, like, you're bullying her.
Yes, I think Lala just felt intimidated and uncomfortable, which I guess, like, define bullying, right? It's when you, like, right, it was Katie and Scheana versus Lala, and they openly talk shit about her to her face, behind her back, and try to get other people not to like her, right? That's kind of bullying. But Lala never said it. She just felt excluded and hurt, and
Lala shared, like, with Lisa how she was feeling, and Lisa kind of
defined it.
Yes. I don't think Lala ever would have said, like, oh, you are bullying me, because I think Lala not as, like, stronger than that, but, like, can defend herself and didn't need, like, for that label to be put on it. But I see how Lisa put the label on it. Yeah.
I do think, like, it was upsetting because I do think Lala to some extent was scared to go to work and, like, be herself. But yeah, I thought Katie looked like a bully.
I think so. Like, the Italian vacation thing didn't bother me because I see, like, how they kind of called her out, and I don't think that's really bullying people, is like calling them out on their lies. But when it got to later, and the, like, lack of invite, and, like, telling people you're not going to invite people, and just the way they, like, talked about her with Jax, and, like, that situation, it was just the collective of it was more bullying.
Yes, I agree. So now we get Mike Shay. He's here.
Hello.
First time on a reunion. He's looking good. It was a surprise to see him struggling with his addiction. It started, I guess, before him and Scheana were dating with a sports injury. I know, it's been like 4 years.
Insane.
But it was a sports injury. He got addicted to Vicodin to the point that he was doing average 5 to 6 a day.
A few things. It makes me really sad when, like, people have injuries, and so they're prescribed pills, and you just kind of see the slow downhill then. Yeah. Because that happened to my cousin's ex-husband, and it just makes me so sad that, like, you can have an injury or have a surgery, and it can just go so poorly. And it makes me so sad. Somebody's whole life could be destroyed from one moment.
Yeah.
And then 5 to 6, like,
that's insane. One Vicodin sends me to the fucking moon. Then again, I've never had like a serious injury. The only time I was prescribed it was my wisdom teeth, and my mom was the one that would like give it to me.
I was so scared. Fine, but I am so scared of surgeries and like getting addicted to pills that I will only take them like the first or second day, and then I'm like, I'm gonna tough it out. Where ibuprofen the rest of the way.
Oh no, I was just that bitch that was like, Mom, can I have it? She has like a medicine cabinet where she's very like, oh, and obviously like when you're a high schooler, you're just going to take whatever your parents give you.
Yeah.
But I took one. I remember I just got my wisdom teeth out, and like 2 days later, my friends were throwing a party and I really wanted to go, but I couldn't drink.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I had my stitches in still, but I was on Vicodin. So I like,
you're like, I'll be good.
Dropped me off on the Vicodin. And I was like, high as a kite on this Vicodin. Like, and I didn't drink a thing, but like, so I couldn't imagine 5 in my body.
I know, right, but it makes it more
gross,
knowing but knowing that Shay was doing this before Scheana, I can see how nobody saw it. I mean, we've always known him on the show.
So he's only dated Scheana. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's really hard to spot it then.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it was an everyday thing. Scheana didn't know. She just thought it was something he did recreationally, which like if you're taking Vicodin recreationally.
Okay, but like the drug scene in LA, I've talked to my cousin about this who lived there for 13 years. It is so normal. If you're not doing stuff, that's like red flags to people.
Like a drug, like
just drugs in general, kind of not just pills, but like any types of drugs. Like people are constantly doing it. It is like part of the social scene. It is so embedded in the social scene that like seeing him take a pill at like a nightclub would not be weird.
Huh.
It is so insane. I've really talked to my cousin and all of his friends about
Holy
it.
Shit.
And I was like, that is just wild.
I mean, like in New York, there's cocaine and stuff. Like my friends will go to the bathroom and like,
that's what I told him. Like, oh, I know a lot of people like in New York and Chicago. And he was like, no, like it is.
This is you pop a pill. If I saw someone pop a pill.
Not just pills, but like cocaine too, or any type of drug.
I can't imagine if I'm at the club and I see someone pop a pill, I'd be like, is that an Advil? Are you okay?
It's so normal.
Weird. Mm-hmm. Crazy.
That like Scheana could really this would be normal.
So he recreationally is just like, I'm gonna pop a Vicodin.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. So Scheana found out and she didn't want to tell anyone because she thought it would pass quickly and no one would have to know.
So Scheana. This is so Scheana.
Cringed. So then Lisa's like, I'm disappointed in Shay. He made Scheana's life a living hell, which I didn't love. I'm going to call this out right now. Addiction is a disease.
Especially when he just admitted or shared that like this came from a normal thing. It's not like he was just constantly recreationally doing this.
Yeah, he wasn't like,
spiraled.
I'm going to become addicted to Vicodin for my own party scene. No, he had to get some sort of surgery. It was prescribed. He felt like he couldn't live without it after the injury, and he continued.
You become like emotionally attached to it, I bet.
Yes, that is crazy. Also, it like made, I know this is later, but we could just talk about this whole like addiction thing. Mm-hmm. It made me sad when Shay was like, I didn't open up about it because I didn't want people to respond the way Lisa is right. Lisa she was shaming the fuck out of him.
And like, I'm not saying like we need to assign blame, but I feel like she wanted to sit there and be like to Scheana, like Shay destroyed your life. And it's like, no, how about like, how can we help Shay? How can we build Shay back up? Why are we like trying to sort out the pieces to be like, all right, who's taking this piece of the baggage and whose fault is this piece? Mm-hmm. No, like, let's just work on a solution.
Yeah. And then we talk about how like when Shay did come home to talk to Scheana, there was a group of people, I think it was Ariana and the Toms were there to help Shay feel safe. Like he could
Shay wanted that. And I think that probably really did help.
I think it did too, because I think Shay already seems kind of like the type to be a little more held back. Mm-hmm. And Scheana's very abrasive. Yes. And in this situation, Shay knows he did wrong, but it's still kind of like he couldn't help himself. Like, I can't blame him for doing wrong. It was almost just like, it was a series of unfortunate circumstances. Yeah. He got addicted. He knows he's in the wrong, But he didn't want to be blamed for it because he shouldn't be. It's a disease. It's addiction.
Yes. And I think him saying he wanted like a group there made it not like a mob mentality. And in a sense, it gave him the buffer. Friends, and like Scheana said, if she was like talking down to him or yelling at him, like other people would have called her out and like checked her.
Yeah. Like it wasn't going to be an attack. It was going to be like an open dialogue communication.
Yes. It gave him a comfort and a safety level. I thought it was so interesting that he said like when he's comfortable, he can really be himself, and he needed to be comfortable in order to have that conversation.
Yes. And then he was talking about how he stopped taking pills like 6 months prior to this talk.
Yes.
But Scheana's issue was that she thought he might take him again, and that's why she was being so hard, which I think like that again is kind of horribly handled, just because like I understand the fear, but you have to trust them, right? Like on this road to recovery, you have to give some sort of trust, some sort of like, please, before you take a pill, remember me and what you can lose. Like that's
or like then. Work with him, talk with him, don't like treat him like and I think that's what we saw is we saw Scheana treating him like a child all season, trying to avoid worst case scenario, and instead you're just making this relationship not work.
No. So we'll get to Scheana in a second, but first Jack's fucking shaming this relationship. I'm not surprised they're
one to talk about. Listen, number one guy in the group. Here's Jack's number one guy in the group, relationship expert, treats women with disrespect,
defender of all women. Yeah, he was just like, what did he say to Lisa? Like, that relationship sucks. I would be taking pills too. I was like,
and like, I have milk with a like longer expiration date than this marriage.
Yeah, but Scheana was extra hurt because she told Jack, so it shouldn't be a surprise.
Oh, I love this like, little back and forth of, I don't know why you're acting like you didn't know. I told you. And Jackson's like, no, you didn't. Nope. She's like, well, so you're saying you didn't listen? Because I feel like this type of conversation happens all the time, where you tell someone something, they don't listen, and then later on they're like, never heard anything. And it's like, no, you actually just didn't listen.
I own up all the time, where someone will be like, I told you. And I'd be like, oh shit, that's on me. That's on me. I wasn't listening. Just say like, I wasn't listening.
It's way better than trying to like, honestly gaslight them into saying they never told you.
I don't think you told me that. So
that didn't happen.
No. Okay, so now let's talk about Scheana's approach to recovery. Listen, I'm glad she got a lot of hate on social media.
I was about to say, I feel like this became a learning experience for a lot of people.
Yes, and we do get her famous quote, don't get shit-faced, but don't be a bore.
We laughed about it all season, but I'm happy that like this felt like a productive conversation of Lisa or Scheana saying she did not know anything about addiction prior. No. I mean, I didn't. Until you see someone go through it, you don't know how to respond. And honestly, having a camera on your relationship where you're supposed to be having fun and doing all these fun activities, I think that would be really hard to manage.
Yes, I do think like I've never experienced someone having addiction. However, I feel like I'm a different type of person where I could empathize enough. Yes. Because I have not like seen it on, this sounds bad, but like seen it on TV, but I've seen people like Scheana handle it horribly. Yes. Where I can be then like, I wouldn't want that if this happens to me. Right. Also, I think it just takes a different, like Sheena's very self-centered. She admits that she just wanted him to partake responsibly because then it made me feel better. And like, she's very selfish. I feel like if you're going to deal with addiction, you have to understand you are not the number one person in the group.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Like it can't be about what you want. It needs to be like what they need. Yes.
But she does admit she had ignorance. Shay though takes the blame because he put Scheana in that situation.
It was really hard to watch back, the whole tampon shot thing and the cocktails. I was like
cocktails, like
oh gosh, like the Hawaii trip, I could expect a little bit more or I understood a little bit more. Like, listen, like the don't be lame thing, like have fun still. I think what she was trying to say is like, I hope you have an enjoyable trip. Yes. I think she also probably meant like you can have a few drinks. So
responsibly,
the Hawaii thing was a little bit easier to take, but it's like he newly came home on their anniversary dinner, and you are trying to make things better and have him not drink. This is a one-on-one thing. Why do we need alcohol at all?
Let's do champagne, and then I want to try the gimlet, and then I want to try all of them. Mule.
We're gonna get them all.
Get one of each.
We'll both get one of each.
It was just so cringy.
It was tone deaf. It was so tone deaf.
Sandoval did say that there have been nights where he served them both like 2 drinks and then a shot, and then Shay will say something that doesn't align with what Scheana's saying, and Scheana will say like, I can't talk to you, you're just drunk, which is what I think Scheana did a lot, because remember that one time at the pool?
She would later on use it back. She'd be okay all the way up until the moment she wasn't okay with it.
Where were we at the pool that he was like, I'm not even drunk, and she's like, you were only supposed to take every other shot and now you're drunk, and then they woke up in a hotel room
and she was like you're not supposed to be having hard alcohol, like mixed cocktails.
That was
he's like, I'm drinking beer. He's like, I'm drinking beer.
Yes. It's just like, it's like she flipped a switch
because he disagreed with her. She used it against him all season when he said something she didn't like,
because he gets that look. There's a look he gets in his eyes. Also, like, listen, Shay, I don't know his drinking patterns, but I'm going to assume 2 drinks and a shot is not going to send this man over the moon to drunk.
Exactly. When Sandoval said that story, I was like, oh my God, she's using it as a little button to press. Every time she's annoyed, she wins. Yeah. You can't argue with her.
And then, like, to make matters worse, and it's not funny, but Lisa's defending Scheana some more because all she did was see Scheana build Shay up. And I was like, what show did she watch? What show did I miss?
I do think it looks like the demeanor in the conversation in this present moment is different for Scheana than it was all season. So I think she probably watched it back and learned some things. I do. So they said it isn't happening anymore. So I'm going to trust what people are saying and hope for the best.
Yes. They were working out what worked best for them. They didn't know. Also, I guess like Shay told Scheana about his addiction, but said like, I'm not an alcoholic, so I'm going to keep drinking.
Which is hard.
What do you say to a grown man that's like, I'm going to keep drinking?
That's and, like, okay. True. I mean, at this point, like the whole, she doesn't know anything about addiction. Like you said, I mean, I didn't know anything either when this literally came out live. If somebody tells you they're not an alcoholic and you haven't seen them truly have like major problems with alcohol, like I would say like a long-term addiction with alcohol. Yeah. It would be really hard to like say like, oh, you shouldn't drink at all.
I feel like, listen, this might just be me. Tell me if I'm wrong. And again, like not everyone has to do this. Everyone's situation is different. Yeah. But if I was in a marriage with someone and I understand being young and like being on a TV show and wanting to go out, I feel like though I would, if they're like, I'm not going to drink or take drugs or do anything, I would then also limit my own thing. Just like I would support. Because that's
especially in the like first year, like the early days, I feel like they need a support system and an ally that is actually in it with them.
Especially like, fine, we're at a party, I'm going to have like a drink. But if we were one-on-one at an anniversary dinner, I don't need to get drunk if you're not going to get drunk. Like we can
because the thing is, it's not like Scheana was like, I really want to enjoy a nice glass of wine, like truly enjoying the drink like, for what it is. She's like, I want to try all the drinks. Yeah. Fun.
So, Scheana is educating herself better, which like great. We always support growth. Shay hasn't drank in over 3 months and he quit pills cold turkey without a program.
I just want to say amazing. Yeah. Really want to actually highlight that. Like the hard work it takes behind an addiction. Like people typically fall off the wagon and it's a process. You got to take one day at a time. But I always want to applaud sobriety and hard work behind it.
Yeah. And despite what Jack says, where that marriage sucks and he would be taking pills if he was in it, Shay says if it wasn't for Scheana, he would still be taking pills. So
I agree with that. I think he really does love Scheana, and him being able to quit pills cold turkey, I think shows it. He said like, it was either my marriage or the pills, and I chose my marriage.
So can we go to something else that was kind of tone deaf?
100%.
Ariana's 30th birthday party. The birthday party wasn't tone deaf. That was super fun. We love a kid themed.
I was gonna say what?
Well, we'll get there. But Ariana, clubs and dinners, she does that all the time. Great. Let's do something different. Scheana had the idea. It was great.
I loved it.
But let's talk about her dad dying and Tom Sandoval saying, but bulldozers.
Oh, this was heartbreaking.
Okay.
So heartbreaking.
Yeah, so Andy brings it up and is like, Tom Sandoval, you see where like it looks bad? And Ariana's like, I was being vulnerable because she was being kind of a little bitchier around that time.
Yes.
She's obviously going through a lot. She did not want to share it, but she did with Sandoval and said like, this is a really hard time. And Ariana has some past trauma where it seems like her birthday and her things being overshadowed by other events, which I have a feeling her father dying overshadowed her birthday a lot of the time. So this was a moment for like her to enjoy herself. And now Peter's throwing a birthday party. It's about to overshadow her. And Tom Sandoval's like, I understand your dad passed, but
gotta go.
Construction?
Yeah. Leaving here in 5 minutes.
You girls gotta go. And Lisa's like, if Ken did that, I would have left him in Vegas. It would have been a one-way trip.
If somebody pulled it's and the thing is, it's the way they went about it too.
They're like, it's a boys' trip.
It was a boys' trip. It was kind of hidden. They really wanted they didn't really talk about it a lot. And so then like you're gonna choose at Ariana's birthday too to tell her like you are going. Terrible.
Happy birthday. Sorry your dad died. I'm out tomorrow.
On your actual birthday too.
Yes. And
I'm pretty sure he was gone for her actual birthday.
Yeah.
They should have just invited the girls and said, let's make it kind of like a bachelor party and the guys and girls will split up and then we'll come back to dinner for dinner. Like
they should have
include them and you go do your thing that you're really excited about, but include them in some way.
Listen, I understand Peter, right? At the time, I think he was single. And he's like, it's a boys' trip, right? Him and his boys. I totally get that. Yeah. But the boys should have said, can we do it a different day? Like Ariana's dad just died. They should have been really open with their girlfriends from the beginning. Not this awkward, like, hey, so Peter's having a boys' trip.
And I'm pretty sure all the guys, or not all the guys, but the two Toms had previously said they were not going to go to their significant others. Yeah. And then they changed their mind.
Yep. Well, all they really did was have their asses out in each other's faces. So they didn't cheat, we don't think. Meanwhile, the girls partied by having some girl on girl action.
Loved it.
Don't get mad, get even.
Love it.
Which is honestly horrible advice for a really healthy relationship. This was kind of like a joke thing.
Yes, I think with something not as serious, like, you know what, like, let's get back at them. Like, let's show them we can play this game too. Was great advice that Lisa gave them for this specific situation.
Please, if someone like cheats on you, don't, or if someone's taking pills and has addiction, don't also be addicted.
Doesn't work in every situation, but some like lighthearted, fun. Got the girl's mind off of it and got the guys jealous. So
you wanna know some tea though?
What?
A lot of them have already had a dip in the lady pond.
I
didn't know. I love it. They've all been with women, but Lala's only kissed a girl. Andy's not even ever been with a woman.
I love it. Andy's like, nope, not I.
Not me. I'm queen. The guys though have only ever kissed other boys, but Andy's like, Jax, I don't believe that. I totally believe that you've gone further. Remember that guy from Miami?
I was gonna say, because of the rumors with Miami from the bachelor and bachelorette party.
Yeah. But Lala was really happy to be invited to girls' night. She thought that was a stepping stone.
Which I think so too.
Relationships. Okay, let's talk about ass tattoos and Sandoval's flaming bacon.
Oh my lordy.
So Katie likes the Bubba tattoo,
which we said. I think
it was classy.
Our opinions about the tattoos were during that episode of like the Bubba is cute. It's sentimental.
The flaming A that Tom Sandoval Googled, cool A's.
Oh, okay. When he showed his ass though, it does look better.
It looks better. But I understand Ariana was like, I love his ass. And now that I gotta look at that.
Yeah. If he had done something like cute and sentimental, the only sentimental part was that it was an A.
Yeah. It wasn't like Bubba's kind of their inside joke.
Yeah, it's their name for each other. Like Bubbas. It was, I'm pretty sure it was in like a little script, so it like visually looked okay. The bacon A was just all around bad.
But it looks better. Yeah. Okay, so remember when Kristen marched her ass into Sir to apologize to Ariana? I didn't remember this.
I did not remember this at all.
Oh, I remember it, but I don't think it was the season. I think it was the like Katie and Scheana were like, Kristen, if you want to get back, you gotta apologize to Ariana because you said you want her to get hit by a Mack truck.
Yeah.
So sorry. So Kristen charges into Sir and she's like, hey Ariana, can I talk to you? And Ariana was like, fuck, call the police. But then Kristen did that thing where she was like, listen, I'm sorry, but like I was mad because you were sleeping with my boyfriend. But like I'm sorry. And Ariana was like, okay,
that's not what happened. I didn't sleep with your boyfriend. And
also, that's not the point. You wish death upon me.
Yeah.
But okay, so Kristen said she just owned up to things, which like everyone was like, you didn't own up to anything. You just blamed it on being mad. I think
she gave a blanket. I don't know why I can't say that word right now. Like apology. I'm sorry for like things that have happened.
Yes. I'm sorry that I made you feel any type of way. And it's like, well, all right. But so Ariana thought the apology was bullshit, and so did James. And
I kind of think it was a little bullshit.
It was I agree, it was bullshit. But you know, they're cordial in group settings. That doesn't mean Ariana likes Kristen, and then
or Kristen's has really forgiven her.
Yeah, and Kristen's like, we're not cordial. Or just cordial, like you ignored me for a long time. And Ariana's like, that's me being cordial. And then Kristen was like, we were at a party recently and we talked. And Ariana goes, again, that's me being cordial and a favor to my friends to like not make this a nightmare,
not make it weird. I'm making the event enjoyable for everyone. That does not mean we're on a good page. That means we're not on a bad page right now.
Yeah. And then Ariana was like, also your apology was bullshit because it was just a way to get you back in the friend group.
Yeah, right? And get to go to Hawaii.
The whole apology tour, and she didn't even get to go to Hawaii because Sandoval put an end to that one.
Loved it.
But yeah, Kristen just needs to own her shit, but she's not gonna because she thinks she already did. Katie then,
and she always goes backwards. Like they all kind of dredged it back up, and we talk about like Ariana and Tom kissing, and like quote unquote like Tom cheating on Kristen with that, and the Kristen and Jax, it literally is just a giant cycle to go back into everything that has happened over the last like 4 years. So I don't think the apology is genuine because she will immediately bring it back up if it suits her.
Kristen does that thing a lot of housewives do where they're like, we're moving forward, don't bring up the past, I apologize. But then if Kristen is wrong, she'll be like, remember that one time you kissed someone at the Golden Nugget?
Yes, like you're not over it because if we talk about like you cheating on James, you're gonna immediately be like, well, Tom once cheated on me with Ariana.
Which this was hilarious because Andy's like, Kristen, how are you mad about one kiss that happened 3 years ago?
Yes.
When you not only fucked Jack twice, but you literally have slept with other people.
You've admitted to sleeping with other people.
And she's like, it's because they had an emotional relationship. And I'm like, they had a friendship. Like,
yeah. Which I can understand her feelings behind it. Like in the moment when she found out, like, okay, I'm not crazy. Like something did happen. But the fact that you're constantly going to hit this one button, they did one thing, and every single time we are actually talking about you and something you did, you're going to bring this up. You're using it as a defense. And that's what's not okay.
I just fucked half of LA. You guys had a friendship. It's like, well, all right.
You guys pecked in a swimming pool and lied to me about it.
At the Golden Nugget. Okay, Lisa didn't buy Kristen's apology either because, again, Kristen just wants back in the friend group. Kristen's like, whatever, I apologize, which is like the best thing to do when you're trying to apologize. And then at Jax's birthday lunch, Kristen claims she apologized to Sandoval. Sandoval says that it was like, Kristen said, I apologize to Ariana. I can apologize to you if you want. And we do get the receipt of like Kristen going, I apologize to Ariana. Like I could apologize to you, but whatever, we're here. Like,
yes.
It was like, so Tom and James are calling Kristen out for being bullshit. And Tom is basically like, Kristen, we know each other well enough that like, I know when you're not genuine. And Kristen's like, no, you don't, because I don't know you anymore. We don't know each other anymore.
I would say to the same thing that Kristen said that like, James isn't changing. Well, you don't know him well enough anymore. Like you don't know him.
Also, like just fucking, okay, we might not know each other anymore, but I know you well enough to know when you're lying or when you're genuine and when that shit doesn't just change.
No. Or like there would have to be some massive like personal change and like a whole new group, a whole new setting. Like you have to become a whole new person, which takes
Tom
a lot
would
of
be
work.
able to see it.
More than a year.
Yeah, Tom
in the same setting.
I think what Tom's saying is like, I see the same patterns when we were dating happening now, so I know you're not changing.
Yep.
Oh, so funny. Okay, but yeah, so then Kristen says that Tom Sandoval just wants to be the center of attention all the time. That's what he does best. Kristen may be bullshit, but Tom Sandoval's trying to be number one guy in the group.
I was gonna say, Andy's like to Jax, like, that number one in the guy in the group behavior.
And then they make a joke out of it because Jax is like, it's me. I'm number. Jax is like dead ass serious. He's like, actually, that's me. I'm number one.
And then he like puts a little smile, like, haha, like I'm in on the joke.
I'm in on the joke, but I hate it because I'm number one. I
actually want that on record. Number one guy sitting right here.
They cut to a commercial break, I bet. And Jax was like, Andy, don't ever make that fucking joke again. I'm number one guy in the group. Don't ever say it's someone else.
Don't joke about that.
Don't do it. So can Kristen and Tom be at peace? Tom's like, I am at peace. And then everyone erupts and is like, to which like Tom obviously starts arguing back because we all can't help ourselves.
I know. I feel bad for him because he's being baited. And so by the end of it, Sandoval's like, I am at peace, but when you constantly bring it up, of course I'm going to respond.
He's like, I'm at peace. And Kristen's like, remember when you kissed her? Remember when you lied? Remember when you were an ass? And he's like, I'm not going to be at peace if you keep fucking talking.
Am I allowed to respond too whenever you like throw all these insults? I'm allowed to be at peace and respond when you throw insults my way.
He gets riled up with the details because the damage has been done.
It would be hard. I don't think you ever are like truly, I'll say quote unquote, over it like people want you to be.
Yeah, you're never going to be like, Kristen, it's totally cool. No worries.
Yes. Honestly, I feel like the best way to win with Kristen would be like, yeah, we did kiss. You know, it was really great. I'm so happy it happened.
It's a good kiss. That's why I'm dating her and not you.
Kristen would sob.
She would kill it.
I always tell people like, the calmer you are, or like, the more you react, the more you're giving people to then fight back at you, you know, like think about the reactions. Don't try to undermine people and like really tick them off, but don't give people the like exuberant reactions where they can point and see like, see, you're yelling now.
You're a yeller. So then Lala is sad because she thought her and Kristen were actually pretty good. I don't know how we got here, but you know,
I know
Lala, I think there was a commercial break and we came back and this was it. So Lala and Kristen were like getting along, but then Kristen started bad mouthing Lala because Lala was hooking up with James, which that's Kristen's MO. Just no one watched the show. No one watched the show.
I feel like that's a pretty normal reaction. If you kind of liked a girl and they started hooking up with your ex, you would start disliking the girl.
Yeah, I mean it's not the right reaction, but it's normal.
But like 1 + 1 = 2. That checks out. That is a normal thing that happens in this world.
Yeah, where Kristen went bad is where she called Lala a ratchet whore bag.
Yes, that's not good. I understand not wanting to be friends with Lala. That's a normal thing.
I wish Kristen had just been like, you're hooking up with James. I don't like James, so I kind of just by default.
So we're not going to be friends, obviously.
Instead, Kristen is like, I don't like your social media. And I think you're a fake person.
Yeah. She attacks Lala to like her core about something that has to do with James. Just say what happened. You are hooking up with my ex. I hate my ex. I don't like you. Yeah. Not you are a terrible person just because.
You have James's back before you have my back. I don't like you. And James is out to get me. So great. That's when Ariana calls out Kristen and says like, Kristen, you do these things and say these words and like have all these actions, but you don't know the ripple effect that your actions have on other people, right? Ariana was told to go get hit by a Mack truck. She sobbed. She went to therapy. She was like distraught, this girl.
Yeah. So it's like, you're just saying these things and you think they're like water and they can just like flow off of us. And you just need to apologize for the moment it happened. But it's like, you need to think about all the effect that I've gone through since you've made these comments.
Yes. So then basically we end with a big argument. And then James says he can't wait for Kristen to break Katie's heart again, which I wouldn't be surprised if it did. But next time Jax and James are going to yell at each other. Stassi's here and she argues with Lisa. Why did Frank only charge $900 for a sex tape? That's
good
been my
question.
Since
really great question.
Jax and Lala come back up. Brittany's at the reunion.
Ooh, but sitting across from Jax, so are they still together?
I don't know. I think they just need to face each other, as he told her he didn't want to get married again. Scheana knows that she's been booted from the group, the cool girl group. Ooh. She's out. And then James calls everyone an asshole. You're an asshole. You're an asshole. You're an asshole. I want him to do that thing where he goes, you're cool. You're an asshole.
Oh, I was like, he's basically Oprah with the asshole comments.
You get a car.
You are an asshole. You are an asshole.
But yeah, so it was an okay reunion. I want more of the tea. We have 3 of these, so God knows.
That's what I'm not happy about. Can we like exile long reunions and just get to the point?
It should be max 2.
Yes.
Because, like, we didn't really need to talk about like a lot of stuff at the beginning.
To be honest, didn't care about talking about the bacon A again. Didn't care about
Jax's mom. Honestly, we didn't need to talk about that.
I really don't care if Lala and Kristen disliked each other, or like actually talking about how they dislike each other and used to be kind of.
We got that.
Like, but got a whole season.
'Twas the time. I think no one really looks too bad at this reunion yet. No. It's pretty standard what I'd expect so far.
Yeah. I'm ready for the meat and potatoes of it.
I love a good reunion though, where you're like, this person looks way worse than I thought they were gonna look. And you're like, ooh.
It takes a little strategy. And to be honest, like you gotta come with receipts. I appreciate a Housewives reunion because they come prepared to it's like a court, you know, they're lawyers and they have done the discovery.
I love when someone pulls out a paper. They did that. Listen, this doesn't give like anything away, but on a summer or Southern Charm reunion, someone came out with papers one time and was like, let me show you. And I was like, whoa.
I like when somebody goes to like a Kinko's and prints out a board.
Like a Kinko's with a full graph.
They're like, here is our text messages blown up 100 times.
Yeah, do it. Awesome.
See where they said this and they said this. And I'm like, you just spent $10 to bring a board to a reunion. I love you.
It's worth it. It's worth it. Okay, but thank you for joining us. We will be back again next week with another reunion.
And do all the things.
That's it.
Thanks. Bye.